Welcome to the Manifestation and Money podcast, the show where we tackle the taboo topics of money and manifestation. I'm your host, Jenny Schultz, former 9-to-5 grinder who ditched the status quo and went all in on creating a life I love. Yes, I used manifestation. Yes, I took action. And yes, I created a 7-figure net worth before turning 40. Every week, I'll bring you inspiring stories with money mavens and manifestation masters. From learning how to make more, save more, and grow your wealth to unlocking the power of manifesting your dream life. I am so excited to play in this space with you. Let's jump into creating a life you love. Hey, manifestors and money mavens. Welcome back to the Manifestation and Money podcast. I'm your host, Jen, and today I want to explore something that feels so aligned with the time of year that we're in. And that is the idea of seasons, both in nature and in our lives. Just like the earth cycles through spring, summer, fall, and winter, our desires and our goals, those things we want to manifest, are allowed to evolve too. So let's start with a truth we often forget in the hustle culture. We are seasonal beings. There are times when we're blooming and moving quickly towards goals, and other times when we're meant to slow down, reassess, or even release old manifestations that no longer resonate. Sometimes in the manifestation space, there is this pressure to always be on, scripting every day, visualizing the same goal over and over and over. But what if we pause and allow more grace and room for things to shift? What if we didn't see evolving desires as quitting, but as a natural part of growth? When I think back to my peer group from my 20s, we were all hustling, working for the weekend. We'd meet up for social drinks and sleep in the morning. Now, 2 decades later, I'm married with children, and social drinking every weekend is a distant memory. And not in a bad way. That's the thing. It is in our nature to evolve. The moon and sun cycle, tides move. Looking out my window right now, the leaves are starting to change. And before I know it, they'll be down on the ground. And that's normal. Next year, they'll grow back. Life cycles. One of my tenants is moving out right now into a bigger space. And Chris and I joke that we'd never be able to move again because we've accumulated so much stuff. And so much work and effort goes into packing and moving. But I found myself daydreaming about what that could look like. Moving into a new space would be a clean slate, an opportunity to do a hard purge of the items that no longer serve us, getting rid of those dust bunnies that are hiding under hard-to-move furniture that we're not even aware are there. There's something refreshing about that thought. And I don't think it's like the grass is always greener type of thought. I think I would actually welcome the change. And when I was thinking about this episode, it made me think of a strong desire I used to have to own a vacation property in Mexico. And this was pre-kids. And at that time, I was taking annual trips to break up winter. And for that season of my life, it made sense. It was great. I wanted to escape from the grind, sunshine, palm trees. I love me a great palm tree view against blue sky. And I wanted adventure. In my eyes, the Mexico vacation property was the perfect goal for me. But after my kids arrived, that dream faded fast and began to feel far away. And not just geographically far away, but energetically. My actual desire changed. The thought of flying on an airplane for half a day with a baby was not my idea of fun. Yes, I still wanted a beach and I still wanted to escape from routine, but I knew now that it needed to be a much simpler commute. No airplane involved. I still wanted that space where we could build memories year after year. And that's when the dream evolved. Not disappeared, but evolved into a lake house close to home. And guess what? That lake house manifested in the most incredible way. Essentially, when I changed up that desire of what no longer resonated with me and got clear about what I wanted, it came into my life so fast. And it checked off all the boxes on my desired list. Should I give you a Cliff Notes recap of that? I kind of feel like I should. Okay, so Chris and I, we were casually chatting back and forth about a lake house. But when we went to the bank to inquire about a loan, we actually got shut down. Self-employed, banks thought we were scary. Anyways, I give you that piece of info here because I took that as fact for several months. Then heading into fall, I remembered my manifestation tools. And I did a complete 180. I was like, wait a sec. We're going to get this. Next summer, we are going to be sitting at a lake property. Let me rephrase that. Next summer, we are going to be sitting at our lake property. So then I went into fantasy land, dreaming up what I wanted that property to look like, who would hang out in that space with us, the activities we'd experience. And I won't get into the methodology of the manifestation tools that I use there because I feel like I'm going to be getting completely off of today's topic. But I promise if you message me on Instagram or email me, I will share the whole process with you. So anyways, the lake house manifestation happened so fast that we got keys to our lake property just 7 days into that year. And yes, we happily enjoyed that summer there and the fall and the winter and the spring, and we're continuing to use it now, which was even better than I imagined because initially I was only imagining hot weather and summers there. So when I look back at my Mexico property, I don't kick myself that it didn't manifest as quick as my lake house. I sit in almost amusement because I now see that it wasn't meant to be. If I had pulled the trigger on something, it would have likely been a pain in the butt to deal with while raising a young family. It just wasn't the right time for me in the season of life that I was in. And maybe I'll pivot back to it at a later time. We shall see. Here's the thing. Just because you wanted something doesn't mean you're locked into that forever. You're not flaky. You are just growing and evolving. And sometimes we hold on to manifestations and goals long past their expiry date, not because we still want them, but because we've attached our identity to them somehow. We think that they'll give us status, or we think we'll gain praise from someone, or we think we actually won't measure up without them. So check in with your goals and see if they're dated. See why you're hanging on to them. Maybe they still resonate, but maybe some of them don't. Letting your manifestations be fluid doesn't mean giving up. It simply means being in co-creation with life, listening as much as you're asking. Know that it is okay to update the vision board. It is okay to change the script. It is okay to say, that served me then, but here is what I desire now. And here's where the magic happens. When we take the pressure off, when we get into a more relaxed, trusting relationship with our manifestations, they often come in faster. Why? Because we're not clenching. We're not gripping. There's that word I love, gripping. Don't grip. We need to allow. So many people think manifestation is about effort, but it's actually about alignment. When you stop obsessing and just start being the version of you who already has it, that's when timelines collapse. That's when evidence shows up. That's the space where you step into flow and the work doesn't feel like a grind. If you're listening to this and you felt stuck, maybe you've had the same manifestation on your list for years and it's just not happening, I encourage you to step back from it for a sec. Is it truly something that you still want? Or maybe are there some tweaks that you'd like to make to it? And if it truly no longer feels aligned, are you actually able to let it go? To allow space for something else? And if so, what does that look like? As we move into a new season, whether it's fall leaves or spring blooms where you are, I encourage you to pause and ask yourself, what season of life am I in? What feels true for me now? And how can I partner with the universe in a way that feels relaxed, trusting, and deeply aligned? I know this is a bite-sized episode today, but I am a girl who loves short, little bursts of inspiration, especially ones that make me pause. So I'm not going to drag this out and add a bunch of fluff. I hope this hits those of you who need it as a big old permission slip to shake things up a bit, especially if things are feeling stale or out of alignment with where you're currently headed. So thanks for tuning in. If this episode resonated, I'd love for you to share it with someone whose manifestations or goals might be shifting too. I am a huge cheerleader for those who are carving their own path. So keep it up. Be intentional about what you want. Cheers to creating a life you love. Thank you for hanging out with me on the Manifestation and Money podcast. If you're ready to take your manifesting to the next level, come join me inside the Manifestation Playground. It's an intentional space I've created to explore, experiment, and expand your manifestation potential. It's where the magic happens. So head on over to www.manifestationplayground.ca to find out more. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep taking aligned action. Cheers to creating a life you love.